clothes, and I hope you spend the rest of your life sleeping alone. I hope the problems that make your life harder sit stubborn in your stomach like your kidney stones. And yet all this over a kiss. You weren't there, why are you pressed by this? And now it's turning 3 in the morning. The bouncers put you on his third warning, but I'm still here, I'm not leaving. You won't get what you need. You know it's always the same. It's all just a game. I did my way. Sleep on the concrete floor. What you say to me? 'Cause I'm not sure they let you off easily. So pissed off march up to bus stop station with pissed off eyes glossed with earlier conversations, and the consequence of your desperation is the people on the night bus have to listen to you. And all I'm saying is, how can you look at yourself in the window pane without wanting to hit yourself? But your fist descends through the condensation. All this over a kiss. You weren't there, so why are you pressed by this? Now it's turning 3 in the morning. The bouncers put you on his third warning, but I'm still here, I'm not leaving. You won't get what you need. You know it's always the same. It's all just a game. I did my way. Sleep on the concrete floor. What you say to me? 'Cause I'm not sure they let you off easily.
Listening it isn't when you're talking for your name's sake. Jesus, Mary Magdalene, are you okay? Sitting by the well, Jill, you're falling down the hill, jacking everybody lap. Don't you pray to a cocaine Jesus in a black four-seater. Got a man, don't need her, but you wait. Call me when you want, or just call me when you need it. If you only ever need it for the day. I won't not have no more than all you left of me. I have no more than all you leave. How's hell? Feeling fine. Nothing bad, but nothing kind. Not a word from me. There's nothing you would mind. In my head, I get lonely sometimes. Feeling fine, coming down. Never back, 'cause we're never out. You never call the cops again. I'll never call up mine. In my head, I get lonely sometimes. When you find an old picture of us, you clear away the dust. I hope you miss me sometimes. When you see a frame that reminds you of me, do you remember the times that we believe in a cocaine Jesus in a black four-seater. Got a man, don't need it, but you wait. Call me when you want, or just call me when you need it. If you only ever need it for the day. I won't not have no more than all you left of me. I have no more than all you leave. And I ain't nothing more than a page unwritten on the page, blowing in the wind. You win a lot, you lose just a little bit more than you gave me. But God, I wish that I was better. I've been ghosting. I've been ghosting alone. Ghost in your house, ghost in your arms. When you're tossing, when you turn in your sleep, it's because I'm ghosting your dreams. And this is why I have decided to pull these old white sheets from my head. I'll leave them folded neat and tidy so that you'll know I'm out of hiding. Yeah, I've been ghosting. I've been ghosting alone, ghost in the world, ghost with no home. I remember the days when I'd make you oh so afraid. And this is why I have decided to leave your house and home unhaunted. You don't need poltergeists for sidekicks. You don't need treats and you don't need tricks. You don't need treats. You don't need tricks. You don't need no Halloween. You don't need treats. You don't need tricks. And you don't need me. Hey, would it be so bad if I stayed? I'm just a ghost out of his grave, and I can't make love in my grave. I won't put white into your hair. I won't make noises in your stairs. I will be kind and I'll be sweet if you stop staring straight through me. And this is why I have decided to pull these old white sheets from my head. I'll leave them folded neat and tidy so that you'll know I'm out of hiding. And this is why I have decided to leave your house and home unhaunted. You don't need poltergeists for sidekicks. You don't need treats and you don't need tricks. You don't need treats. You don't need tricks. You don't need no Halloween. You don't need treats. You don't need tricks. You don't need treats. You don't need no Hallows Eve. You don't need treats. You don't need tricks. And you don't need me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? It has been 500 years since I last streamed. Let's see if I can find my camera. This is not my camera. Where am I? You can't hear me? Oh no. Then how do you know to say that you can't hear me? Crap, which one is my... Like, all my scenes are labeled Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3. What's this? Hopefully I don't accidentally dox myself. Oh, here I am. There you are. Why do you seem so far? Next to you is where I should be. Anyone remember Big Time Rush? Window capture. Chat. Well, look. There it is. That filter. Crop pad. Let's change it to 110. 100. No, this is not the updated version. There we go. Sure, this works. Alright. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me. Your one and only Transformers YouTuber. There's no one else doing Transformer videos. Okay. Oh, I'm getting blurry. Please don't get blurry. Hello, sir. Do you remember me, camera? Let me check some settings here. Okay. Alright. I don't know how to get this to focus on me. Oh, gosh. Please. It's focused on my hand. Alright, that's good. Now we need to pull it back. Oh, look at that. Look at that movie magic. I know what I'm doing. I've done YouTube since 2015. Alright. Let's take a look at chat. Zoe Sephiranthes, the Snapchat hot dog, was found dead in Tucson, Arizona. How did it die? I have to know, how did it die? What happened to it? Where did it come from and where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Muhammad Al-Saeed says, and I quote, Tahiyati min Jazirat al-Arab, which Google Translate tells me means greetings from Arabia. Well, assalamu alaikum. I don't know how you say it. Inshallah. So true, Muhammad Al-Saeed with a Lyle Convoy icon. So true. So true. No, we can't hear you. You're in the void. What do you mean? Do you know that the void is a Transformers lore concept? In Transformers lore, the void is the area of space that no longer has any form of matter in it after Unicron destroys it. Stop asking questions, Radix. Okay. Blunt force trauma, likely gang related. Oh. And can we get a moment of silence for the Snapchat hot dog? Alright, that's enough. So we're doing a live stream because I haven't put out a video lately, and I haven't been working on videos lately. I wrote up a whole script for a Transformers lore video on Atlas. But honestly, that most recent video I published, look at me sounding fancy, the most recent video I uploaded of the history between Buddhism and Shinto in Japan, that video took a lot more time than I expected, and my motivation is weird where I'm only motivated if I feel like I'm making progress, and when I'm stuck on the same video for such a long time, like the Buddhism and Shinto in Japan historical relationship, that kills my motivation. And now I've been sitting here with a complete script for Atlas for Transformers lore, and I just don't feel like making it, because to be honest with you, I don't really care about Atlas. Anyone here big Atlas? Anyone here big Atlas fans? You guys like Atlas? You really like how he's big and blue? It's crazy, right? There's never been a big blue robot ever. He has a drill. I love big powered. Atlas #1. Excellent. Zoe Zephyranthes coming in talking about Atlas as if she was a citizen of China speaking about her country. Alright. Oh yeah, the zone guy. Yeah, get in the zone auto zone, am I right? Let me throw out this gum real quick. I'll be right back in like literally 5 seconds. Oh, the chat's still there. Turns out chewing gum isn't the best for live streaming. You ever heard any radio jockey just sitting there chewing gum? Which one was my... This one, okay. I soy jack point at Japanese Transformers characters I know nothing about. You and a lot of people. So, what do you want to talk about? So I'm doing a live stream since it's been a while since we've done a live stream. It's been a while since we have a video, and I feel zero motivation to actually make a video recently. The Die Atlas video has its script prepared. What I predict will probably happen is I get a sudden burst of motivation to do something completely different. And I just never return to Die Atlas. You know, Transformers The Universe War Part 2 was like as a script written like a year before it actually came out, I feel like. Because I just didn't feel like going in, taking all the pictures of the panels that I was referencing. Man. So we're doing a live stream, and I don't know how well this is going to go because, you know, back in the day, back in the golden age, I would do a stream and this chat would be popping. It would be popping, but since I haven't uploaded that much, we're not popping as much as we used to be. So I don't know how this will go. It's just me, Zoe Zephyranthes, Mr. Freakio, and Mohammed Al-Sahid, which is a motley crew, if I do say so myself. What do we want to talk about? I did not come prepared. I just did this as an impulse. My Twitter has been popping. No, it hasn't. My Twitter's been back. I've been looking at Twitter lately since like the past 2 days or 3 days or so. I've been looking at Twitter a bit more than I used to because I went through a long period where I just didn't use the internet. Like, I used it very minimalistically, and I intend to go back to doing it minimalistically, but I've been enjoying Twitter for a short time period, and I know that won't last for long, so I don't have any long-term plans on Twitter. Transformers fans win Vicar Prima, the Fun Pub character based on an animation error unique to the Japanese release of G1, gets an exclusive Hasbro repaint of an ill-fitting toy. Yeah, I don't understand. Oh, don't zoom out. Don't fade out. My face is here. Hey, my face is no. Why are you so fuzzy? Me to the local feral raccoon. I think that's as good as we're gonna get. Please. John? Oh, look at that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, toy culture is weird, man. I don't know. I don't understand a lot. I don't understand the obsession with getting minor character toys that are literally just repaint and slightly altered versions of already existing toys for more famous characters. I don't get a lot. My girlfriend, by the way, got me an Optimus Prime for Christmas. I didn't want to be the type of boyfriend that you thought it would be acceptable to give him a children's toy. I feel like I've disappointed myself. But this is where we're at right now. So I have to do better so I don't look like a soy boy anymore. Okay. I used to be a consumer, and I think I got like 10 Hasbro figures last year. I am so sorry to hear that. Have you seen the video? The first Transformers theme was wildly confusing by Charles Cornell. I have never seen that video. And half of them were for Menasor. For Menasor because he's the last G1 combiner I'm missing. See, I don't feel that pull to get, I have to get every G1 combiner. I have to get every character that showed up in this show. Right? Sometimes I'll see a character that I like and go, oh, I like that character. There's some part of me that I feel is reflected in that character, or at the least this character is a role model for me, and I might get, 1 or 2 figures here and there. But like, let me show you all the Transformers I own right now here in Japan. I have a Bumblebee that the Lay's boy got me right before I moved to Japan. I have a Perceptor, because I like Perceptor. I like his sniper personality in the IDW comics. And I also like the intellectualism of Perceptor. I like to think of myself as a sort of intellectual. That's the most Reddit thing I've said all day. But yeah, we have Perceptor. I enjoy Perceptor. Then we have Ironhide. And Ironhide, I enjoy Ironhide's loyalty, I enjoy his groundedness, and I enjoy his southern accent, because I too am a southerner, right? So we have Ironhide here. Oh, I made him step on Bumblebee. We have an Optimus Prime here, because Optimus Prime is a little bit of a role model, a very good leadership figure, a very kind figure, a kind person, right? So there's a lot I admire about Optimus Prime, so I got Optimus Prime. And then, my girlfriend went and got me another Optimus Prime, and now I have too many Optimus Primes. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. And that's it. I would not have two Optimus Primes if I had a choice. But I have a lot of red guys with a little bit of blue thrown in there. I think the last Transformers figure I bought when I lived in America were the Combiner Wars Bruticus stuff, because I really love Bruticus. Bruticus is my favorite combiner. In fact, he might be the only combiner I like. So I had to get Bruticus. And I don't actually own any combiner besides Bruticus. And I thought, I want at least one combiner. And I really like Bruticus, so maybe when they make a Bruticus. And then they made a Bruticus, right? Because for a while it was just Bruticus Maximus from Transformers Energon that was the most recent Bruticus release. And that also was crazy expensive. And I also don't care about Bruticus Maximus as much as I care about G1 Bruticus. So, but that was the last one I got in America. It's a musical analysis of the theme. It's a sunk cost fallacy. I'm the better part of 2 decades in. I may be 5 figures away from being done with G1, and I'll just get the really cool guys I want. You need more primes. I do not need more primes. What do you mean with being done with G1? Like, do you mean being done with every G1 character that's ever existed? Or do you mean, like, all the characters that showed up in the show? Or what's your definition of being done with G1? How do you complete Generation 1? Hey Radix. Hello, Juancho Guerrero. I have everyone from seasons 1 to 3 except for a couple of mini bots. Alright. And then once you complete that, you have to move on to Japanese headmasters. You have to get all the headmaster figures, right? How do I get this to focus? Why? This camera is a loser. This camera is the worst camera in the history of cameras. Believe me. Please. Alright, let's focus on the hand. And then, whew. Look at that. There we go. Yeah, but you should have seen my girlfriend come in trying to name all these Perceptor Ironhide. Because she just pointed and says Optimus Prime. And points to Ironhide. That's Optimus Prime. And I say, yeah, you're right. I was wondering, why did you change your name from Primus Prime to Commander Radix? Well, I have an entire video about why I changed from Primus Prime to Commander Radix. Mainly because I don't want to do just Transformers on this channel. Lately I've basically been doing Transformers and history and world religions and mythology. So I didn't want a name that was like very notably, like you look at it and say, yep, that's a Transformers YouTuber, because that's not all I do here. But I have a whole video, I think it's like called Primus Prime 22 is dead, now what, or something. Radix is Latin. Technically it's Radix, if you're speaking Latin, but Radix means root in Latin, and it signifies me going back to my roots, because this wasn't originally a Transformers channel to begin with, right? So, and it's also because most of the time I'm looking with history and stuff like that. Really, if I'm at full energy level, this channel is kicking out Transformers videos, history videos, personal vlogs, maybe video games. I don't know if video games will ever return to the channel. I just can't see myself getting the energy to do video game videos again. And I also don't really play much video games anymore. So, Yeah, that's something that might never come back. But I want to do more personal videos. I want to do more vlogs. I want to do more history videos. I actually really want to do... I don't know what to call it, but I want to do another lore series that's not Transformers lore, but like folklore. Like actual folklore, fairy tales, mythology, religions from around the world. I really want to do that. I just haven't figured out a good name for it. Folklore lore. I don't know what you would call it. But I think everyone likes mythology and folklore to some extent, right? That's something that people could get into. And that's something I really want to do. I know if I do it, it will be way too Europe and Japan focused. But maybe some Native American stuff here and there. But yeah, that stuff's really interesting to me, especially as I think people on Twitter know that I've recently like begun a sort of spiritual journey towards Christianity. So as I'm going on that journey and looking more into folklore and myth, that's becoming really interesting to me, and I want to make videos on that. Put one in the chat if you would be interested in folklore videos or mythology videos. After that, I'm out of the game, especially since Deluxes now cost as much as Voyagers did in 2017. I went to my local toy store, and I looked like a creep, the single foreign guy walking through the aisles of the toy store in this Japanese mall. And I found Transformers, and this is the first time I found a Transformers section in an aisle since I've come to Japan. And I'm looking at them like, wow, there's a lot of G1 characters. I guess there was when I left America, but keep in mind that when I left America, we were in like the Bumblebee era, when the Bumblebee movie had just come out. Oh, we got 2 1s in the chat. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm looking like, wow, there's a shark. Like, I was surprised at what characters were there. Like, there's a Sharkticon toy that I saw. I'm like, wow, that's a Sharkticon. And yeah, they were expensive. And they look smaller than I'm used to. And keep in mind, I'm like, when I was most active in getting Transformers figures, it was Transformers Energon and Revenge of the Fallen. That's when I was most active. But they look small now. Like, a Voyager class is like a slightly big deluxe class from my age. I love all your content, bro. Keep it up, champ. Thank you, Pix World. I really appreciate it. $200 Titan figures. I could never spend $200 on Titan figures. Do you compare the death and resurrection of Optimus Prime with the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ? Yes and no. Okay, now that sounds like a weird answer. I believe that fiction... I believe that good fiction will very often reflect the patterns upon which reality is built upon. In that there are certain, what you could call tropes, certain patterns that reflect the real world or reflect some part of, J.R.R. Tolkien called Christianity the one true myth, right? Tropes kind of have reflections of that. I don't know, look into the YouTube channel called The Symbolic World to sort of understand my philosophy of how fiction and Christianity kind of relate to each other. No, I do not think Optimus Prime is Jesus Christ, or really comparable to Jesus Christ, but I do think his constant act of death and resurrection is, as Pajot would word it, who runs the Symbolic World YouTube channel, it participates in the pattern of the resurrection. That's what I'll say. So not a Dragon Ball reference. No. I get that a lot. That Radix is a Dragon Ball reference. It's not. I've never seen Dragon Ball. So we have 2 1s. They're doing multiverse figures now. Like, there's an official Tarn out next month and Armada Starscream on shelves now. I like the diversity, but the prices are wretched. The prices do look bad. I do think, looking at the toys, that if I was younger, right? If I was, like, in middle school. If I was a middle schooler right now and, like, enjoyed Transformers at the level that I did when I was in middle school, and I saw the characters that were available on the shelves, I would be having a field day. That would be awesome. Because when I was in middle school, we had Revenge of the Fallen toys everywhere, and there was no such thing as G1. You know, there was like what, Generations, but that wasn't. I always wanted a Generations. I don't even know if it's Generations or if it was Universe at that point in time, but like the Generations Hot Rod figure, but I never got it. That's a figure I could see myself buying today just to say I got it, since I spent so much of my childhood wanting it. Generations Hot Rod. Let me just make sure that's the right one. No, not that. That looks so lame. It was during the Unicron trilogy era, I think. Classics. Classics Rodimus from 2006. That's something I had always wanted, but then never got the chance to get. Yeah, Transformers Legacy line gets weird with the choices. In the same way, you can buy a bleeding, crucified Jesus you can get off Amazon Optimus Prime's battered corpse. They're basically the same thing. You know what? You're right. That's... You're absolutely right. How would you feel about a Transformers Middle-earth crossover? I wouldn't feel. Here's a secret. I've never read or watched Lord of the Rings. Or The Hobbit. Can we focus, camera? I respect the ideas of J.R.R. Tolkien. Please focus. Nope. But I've never actually read any of his fiction. I've read a lot of his essays. There is a G2 G-Axis toy. G-Axis. Oh, yeah, G-Axis is G2. Yeah, I saw G-Axis. I pulled G-Axis off the shelf and I said, because they're like, do them like books? Like they're to the side. And I wanted to get a good view and I pulled it out like, G-Axis. What little kid out there wants a G-Axis toy? And then put it back in. There's a new Hot Shot. Oh, Hot Rod. I have good hearing comprehension. We believe you. We'll believe you. Classics Rodimus is dirt cheap on the aftermarket since there's so many Redico and new toys of him. Well, maybe I'll have to capture him. Maybe I'll have to throw a Master Ball at him. I have to seize Rodimus. Classics Rodimus. Oh, and I live in Japan, so that means when I go to the store to buy Transformers, which I don't, but when I go to the store and look at Transformers, they're all the Takara versions. I don't know if that's still a thing. I remember when I was paid attention to the figures, everyone was saying, oh, Takara is so much better than Hasbro. I don't know if that's still true, but, you know, I feel spoiled that I'm surrounded by Japanese figures instead of American figures. Can we please focus, please? I'm begging you. We're just not going to focus today. All right, I see how it is. Okay, that's cool. And a new Laser Optimus Prime. So here's the burning question on everyone's mind. Is Lore Sunrunner dropping now? Let me show you something. This little black book. This black book, and of course the camera's going to focus on this. This includes all my YouTube ideas. Let's go to the Transformers lore section. Please actually be written here. Yep. I don't know if you can see it, but we have Sunrunner. Sunrunner's on the list of things to be made at some point. I think I show spoiled alert with a few of my ideas, but this is like page 3 in like a 6-page. Like, I have ideas, I'm just not motivated. If you think, oh, Radix isn't making videos because he doesn't have ideas, that is not the case. I have so many ideas, I just have not done any of them. We win, Sunrunner Bros. I feel like Sunrunner has always been on the cusp. Remember that I did make Gold Plastic Syndrome, right? I did make that, so that did come out. If you are a Transformers character, either Autobot or Decepticon, who would you be called and what would you transform into? I feel like I get asked this question every single stream. My name would be Dipstick. I would transform into a dipstick. I would be an Autobot. The Takara ones are the same now, but allegedly are less likely to yellow. Oh yeah, there's also rampant yellowing issue with it. There's rampant yellowing issue. At their price tag, they have a yellowing issue? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not fond of that. Also, of course, the moment Japan's toys become the same as America's, I move to Japan. That's how it works. Some paint improvements with Takara. We win, Sunrunner Bros. No paint improvements. Takara is identical now. Oh boy. Cybertron Universe Metroplex also in Legacy. Wow. Remember when everyone was telling me, yo, the Legacy toy line is going to make fiction that's going to bring the multiverse back, bro? Where is it? Where is it? Where's my multiverse? Where's the multiverse? I'm going to kill you. Hopefully we get a HasLab Primus. They did have a like a Transformers Cybertron Primus at like one of the secondhand stores over here, like the Japanese version of Goodwill, but it was expensive. I was not getting that. The durable plastic used for joints, yellows or even browns on some figures. Yippee! There's a gimmick toy from Cyberverse where blue plastic browned on most. Why? Is this a new type of gold plastic syndrome? What is going on? Why is the plastic yellowing? Perceptor, are you yellowing? Not really. How long does it take the plastic to yellow? Perceptor has a little bit of white on him. $25 deluxes, $36 Voyagers. That's nonsense. I refuse. $56 liters. And there are people just talking about. What gets me are the grown men that are spending so much money on toys and complaining about children's toys, and then like their family is starving. Some are yellow out of the box. Wow, just more reactive plastic. Reactive to what? The air? Jeez, oh man. Jeez, oh man. Gotta go, see you later. I will see you as soon as possible. UV light, likely. Is that a global warming thing? Is global warming making our figures yellow? Perhaps. It's a situation we must consider. Just bad plastic thing. Alright. Okay. So, besides Transformers, I also haven't prepared any history videos or mythology videos. It's a cope for people spending above minimum wage hour on plastic robots. It's a cope for people spending above a minimum wage hour on plastic robots. What's a cope? UV light? Yellowing figures? So the upcoming episode for Commander Radix American History has been in development cycle. Has been in a nonsense. I had enough energy to make a good intro for it, and then I got tired. So I need to work on that. And I get afraid of putting out too many history and religion and world mythology videos out at a time, because then I like alienate the Transformers fans if that's all that I put out. But then if I just put out a few Transformer videos, then the people who are here for the history are going to get a little bit alienated. It's a terrible balancing act. Never make a channel that has two completely different focuses, because that doesn't work. Yes. Yes, the UV. The UV light is a cope. The leader class are the 85 euro for me. Euro poor. I think we have to laugh at Mr. Fricchio for being European. I would never be European. European in blood? Perhaps, maybe about 75% even. But European by nationality? Ooh, that's a line I wouldn't cross. Hello, Geekmaster. Plus Finnish. Oh no, are you Finnish, Mr. Fricchio? That's a line I wouldn't cross. Yeah, you were finished from inception. Yeah. Last poor Finland. I've been wanting to make a a Commander's Cabin podcast video talking about some things going on in my life, talking about that whole spiritual journey that led me to Christianity, right? I just don't know if I can do it justice. And it's weird. It's so weird. It's very weird. Everything's just so weird. So weird. As long as you don't become a trad account, I'm excited to hear. Alright, yeah. I'm not going to become a... Well, first off, I know trad caths are a thing. I'm not going to become a trad cath because I'm not becoming Catholic. All love to the Catholics, though. But I'm not becoming Catholic. Deluxe are 36.09 euro. Well, the problem is you're using fake money. The euro isn't real. Hello again. Hello, Juancho Guerrero. Guerrero. SVN, your... Am I supposed to read this in Latin? Soon? Your anus accounts? What do you mean? Lord Adam says hi. Hello, Lord Adam. Have you seen Avatar? Lord Adam, I have not streamed in like months, maybe even a year. And Lord Adam, the first thing he says is hi. Have you seen Avatar? Hello, Lord Adam. Have I seen Avatar? No, I have not seen Avatar. I have not seen the newest Avatar movie. I have not seen the first Avatar movie. I have not seen the last Airbender movie. And I've not seen the last Airbender. Although I know it looks good. The cartoon looks good. I just haven't seen it. I'm making a video game about the multiverse. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Avatar 2. How live? Lord Adam, I ask myself that question every day. How live life? The trad accounts replace you with V to look more based and red pilled. A Roman would scalp them for heresy, right? Yep. Speaking of, I started learning Latin, which again is weird because I'm not becoming Catholic. But let me show you some bull crap, okay? Hold up. Let me show you some bull crap. Let me show you some nonsense, okay? So, I wanted to learn Latin because I feel like that's an important part of traditional culture that I've missed out on because I grew up in the time period where Latin is not taught in school anymore. Can we focus, please, please? And I heard that the best way to learn Latin is through the textbook Lingua Latina per se illustrata, pars unus familia Romana, because it teaches you Latin in Latin. So like it has these Latin sections. The first sentence is Roma in Italia est, which you can probably guess what that means. Rome is in Italy. Italia in Europa est. Italy is in Europe. And then it just slowly builds up. Graecia in Europa est. And then we have the plural. Italia et Graecia in Europa sunt, right? So sunt must be the plural of est, right? So it teaches you very naturally. I have been enjoying using this, but I saw on the internet this was recommended, so I said, oh, then I'm going to go grab myself a copy of Lingua Latina per se illustrata. I'm going to say the title in full because I like saying it. So I go to Amazon because I live in Japan. This is not going to be found in Japan. I go to Amazon and I order it off of Amazon. I ordered it in October. And then it just never came. And I'm like, oh, it's not coming. It's lost in the mail, which when you order things from America to Japan, things sometimes just don't show up. Yeah, I've had a lot of bad experiences with Japan Amazon where things just don't show up. And then it gets to the point where I ask for a refund and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a refund. And then I get the money back. And then one day I go to I don't know if it's in mainland Japan, but in Okinawa we have something called manga soko, which means like manga warehouse. It's this really big like warehouse type store. It has a lot of secondhand stuff. And I go to the secondhand section. I go to the English section, which is like a very thin bookshelf, because why would they have English secondhand books in Okinawa? So I go to the English section, and lo and behold, there's Lingua Latina per se illustrata in the secondhand bookstore English section. And I can't believe it. Like, what is this doing here? Why is this here? Right? It was like a miracle. I'm like, there is the Latin textbook, this obscure Latin textbook that I've only heard of on the internet, here in Okinawa, in this very small English section in the secondhand bookstore at the time that I happened to go. I immediately buy it because, of course, yeah, I was looking for this. It wasn't coming in the mail. It's crazy that it's here, so I get it. That was in like December when I got this book. But then one day I come home and I'm surprised to see in the mail the book I ordered arrived. This is in January. So I ordered it in October and it came to me in January. So now I just have 2 copies of the same book. One's hardcover, one's paperback. But I have 2 copies of Lingua Latina per se illustrata, pars unus familia Romana. I don't need 2 copies of this. Why do I have 2 copies of Lingua Latina per se illustrata, pars unus familia Romana? I don't need that. But yeah, I've been learning Latin from the same textbook twice. That's what's been going on with me. You may have already talked about this, but do you think bringing your history videos to the main channel was a good idea? I do. The comments I get on my history videos are like 100% better than the comments I get on my Transformers videos. People who come to my channel for my history videos are usually more pleasant than the people who come to my channel for the Transformers videos. Maybe in the long term I want to sort of start shifting, because there's only so far you can go with Transformers. But Transformers is my safety net right now, and I'm just experimenting with more history, mythology. I think I'm actually going to go really hard on mythology and folklore soon. I'm going to start pushing a lot more videos about folklore out, which is a kind of natural transition from Transformers lore to folklore in a way, right? They're both lore. But yeah, I think it was a good idea. It has worked out better than I expected it to. The final boss of my game is Unicron. Alright. Who else would be the final boss? History is made up by big textbook to kill the rainforest. You're right. You're right. And a Transformers War for Cybertron leader Shockwave for 149 euros. Oh. We don't recognize Finland as a country anymore after hearing that. Mesqua tre ans de francais est beneficial por lingua latina. I don't know what you said. God is telling you to not buy Hasbro slop, Mr. Freakio. That's true. That the one got lost in the mail got resold to you. Give it to your neighbor. Give the Latin textbook that's completely in Latin to my Japanese neighbor. It's like a single dad and his son. I'm just gonna walk up like, hey guys, you want this Latin stuff? You wanna get a little bit of a familia romana? I'm not going to give it to my neighbor. I do have a coworker that like majored in Latin, and like taught Latin before. And I'm like, hey, I got 2 copies of this basic level, elementary level Latin textbook. Do you happen to want one? And he, being fluent in Latin, is like, no, because why would you want that? You have to understand that Japanese is like 8 linguistic divergences from the common ancestor of Latin and Japanese. But you know what? I speak Japanese much better than I speak Latin. Have you watched The Owl House? I have never heard of The Owl House. Question: if you were to make a Transformer universe where the Great War was at full strength on both sides, how would a Decepticons give to the kid? Okay, I'm going now. Bye. Goodbye, Juancho Guerrero. Give it to the kid. Give it to the... He's like a high school student. He does not look enthused to do anything. Zahira Smith says, good morning from over where I'm at. Good morning. Okay, so if I were in the Great... Lord Adam, did you finish your question? Because that sort of stopped in the middle of the... question, I feel like. Question: if you were to make a Transformer universe where the Great War was at full strength on both sides, how would a Decepticons... Softly. That's how they would. Softly. Just stopping by. Okay. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to talk about? Zahira Smith? We're talking about anything and everything. I just want to rant about the Latin textbook. How's the Esperanto treating you in 2023? Multa malbona? Multa malbona. Not good. Very bad. Because I have not practiced Esperanto in years. Esperanto is a meme language. Everyone who speaks Esperanto is a tool. Not everyone, but 95% of everyone who speaks Esperanto is a tool. However, Esperanto, and this is not how it should work, it should be vice versa, but Esperanto has helped me a lot with learning Latin, because a lot of Esperanto is just Latin without the grammar. So especially vocabulary. If a vocabulary word in Latin shows up that doesn't have a cognate in English, 9 times out of 10 I know what it means based off of Esperanto. Like, oh yeah, I remember an Esperanto word like this. Well, that's how it's happening. Invasion of Earth. Read about Polispo, the ultimate conlang, awful conlang. Poliespo. Bill Ray Walden. Why is this a mugshot? San Quentin State Prison. What? Who is Billy Ray Walden? Also known as Billy Joe Walden, or... Oh, I'm not saying that. It's Cherokee. Nivutohoyada ideheste sequoia. Is an American criminal, former fugitive, Native American movement activist, and an Esperantist. Of course he's an Esperantist. Why wouldn't he be an Esperantist? Born in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, Walden is on death. What did this guy do? He's on death row in California. Oh. For murdering 3 people during a 1985 crime spree. On May 16th, 1986, Walden became the 399th fugitive listed by the FBI on the 10 most wanted list. He was apprehended on June 16, 1986 in California after San Diego police attempted to pull him over for a routine traffic citation. His deadly crime spree was featured in the book Murders in Paradise by Rose G. Handelberg. Polyespo. Polysynthetic Esperanto. This is why I made myself forget Esperanto, because people who speak Esperanto are like this. Polyespo is an international auxiliary language created by Walden. Walden ran a World Polyespo organization for enthusiasts of the language. The principle of creation for Polyespo was Walden's belief that certain languages contain words that made communication quicker, which he referred to as lightning bolts or lightning words, and the goal was to combine as many of these as possible into one language. The language was originally referred to as Anagalisgi, the Romanized form of Cherokee word for lightning. Most of Polyespo comes from Cherokee, English, Esperanto, and Spanish, the languages that Walden could speak. The philosophy behind the language is reminiscent of sound symbolism. Are there any example sentences? Oh. I don't like bananas. Bananantan. Why is there a 2? 2 plat. This is a nightmare. Why did you tell me about Polyespo? I refuse. Do you think a Transformers series based on the Dreamwave comics would work? You know the Dreamwave comics was a series, right? Do you mean like a TV series? Could it work? Yeah, it could. You know, you have to deal with the issue of that it doesn't end. There's not an ending to it. You'd have to deal with that issue. But if you deal with that issue, yeah, I think it would work. Whoa, I've never seen you without your glasses. I've never seen me without my glasses. Polyespo uses the number 2 to represent a nasal th. A nasal th. What? I can't do that. There's a video by Jan Misali about it. It makes me laugh whenever he gets to the phonetics. Oh boy, I will check that out later. Your language should never have an Arabic numeral thrown into it. That's a rule. Unless that Arabic numeral represents the number. If it represents a phonetic sound, it's over. It's Jover. Can I get an it's Jover in chat, please? I want to say, too, have you been working out, man? You look great. I have been working out. I have been lifting weights, running. I'll tell you my workout routine. Every day I wake up at 4 a.m., which is true. Every day I wake up at 4. Let me tell you the Commander Radix daily routine. Every day I wake up at 4 a.m. I write in my dream journal what dream I've had. I check my weight, which has steadily been going down. I say my morning prayers. Then I practice karate, which, in case anyone doesn't know, I am a black belt in Isshin-ryu karate. I taught karate. I did karate for 10 years, taught it for an additional 2 years, then moved to Okinawa, and then I taught it another year. But I do my morning karate, then I do my exercise. And that alternates based on the day. Most of the time it's weightlifting. On Mondays, I do hard karate, which is when it's like high intensity something training, but with karate. Tuesdays, I do weightlifting. Wednesdays, I do running. Thursdays, that's a rest day. I do a walk for 30 minutes. The 21st is whatever. Usually it's weightlifting. Saturday is weightlifting. Sunday is the Sabbath, and I don't work on the Sabbath. Then I take a cold shower, because of course. And then after that, I read the Bible for 30 minutes, and then I do some journaling, just thinking about the day before and what I want to do for the day going forward. Right? That's my morning routine. So, gradually, very slowly, not as fast as I'd like to, very slowly losing weight. Focus, please. Please focus. Please. Please, baby. Hey, Roman. Italia. Spaghetti. Okay. Jorida. Oh no, it works in Japanese too. Jorida. What do you think is the funniest event of the Cold War? The funniest event of the Cold War? When the United States dropped a nuclear bomb on North Carolina and got it lost in the swamp? Obviously the bomb didn't blow up, but the United States was that the Cold War or after the Cold War? North Carolina nuclear bomb. Things that will get me on a watch list. The 1961 Goldsboro B-52 crash. The 1961 Goldsboro B-52 crash was an accident that occurred near Goldsboro, North Carolina on January 23, 1961. A Boeing B-52 Stratofortress carrying two 3 to 4 megaton Mark 39 nuclear bombs broke up in mid-air, dropping its nuclear payload in the process. The plane falls apart with the nuclear bomb inside of it. The nuclear bomb's just sitting there in the wherever the bomb said, just watching everything just shatter around it. Guess I'm going down today. The pilot in command, Walter Scott Tulloch, ordered his crew to eject at 9,000 feet. 5 crewmen successfully ejected or bailed out of the aircraft and landed safely. Another ejected but did not survive the landing, and 2 died in the crash. Information declassified in 2013, so this was secret until 2013, showed that one of the bombs came close to detonating, with 3 of the 4 required triggering mechanisms having activated. So the United States almost nuked itself, almost nuked my home state of North Carolina. So that's a pretty funny incident. I don't know, the Cold War is kind of not really a fun time. It's, you're on the edge of destruction. The Cold War is tragic. It's just so tragic. Like, you can read World War II, and World War II is tragic, right? But there is an element to it where it's like, when your enemy is Nazi Germany, it becomes a little bit easier. Even if you're like, I'm not going to look at the Eastern Front. If I just ignore the Eastern Front, ignore the Soviet Union, and I ignore whatever's going on in the Pacific, if I just focus on America versus Germany, then things are not that bad. There's a little bit of heroism in it, right? But the Cold War is just a nightmare. There's no... It's like 60 years of depression. Not even 60, like 40 years, right? Like 40 or so years, 40 to 50 years of just... It's a tragedy. Great stuff, man. Keep up the good work. Health is wealth. That's true. Pursued missed 521. We must get stronger. The Cuban Missile Crisis easily. I don't think the Cuban Missile Crisis is funny. It's one of the worst. That could have gone terribly wrong. That could have gone so wrong. So what I'm hearing is we need to drain the swamp and get the payload, right? Yeah. That's what drain the swamp means. So we can get the nuclear bombs. I think they've already got them. I don't think there are any missing. What Energon color is best? Purple or blue? I'm a fan of pink. Energon should be pink. We're all thinking it. I love military history and I love watching and learning about. Me too. I was a lot more into military history when I was in middle school and high school and college, I guess. But now I'm starting to get more into like cultural histories and how cultures influence each other and how they alter through time, and how certain trends can, like, I'm getting really into like Paleolithic era history as well. And that's all about, like, it's hard to do a military history of the Paleolithic period, but military history is pretty fun. What the heck is going on? Hello, Robert Holmes. I come into a stream and hear, what's the funniest thing about the Cuban Missile Crisis? It's a fair question. What's the funniest thing about the human missile crisis? I think a little impending annihilation builds character. You're not wrong. Actually, are you? Does it really build character? Because that generation kind of got really nihilistic. Got really like, we're all going to die anyway, so let's just do whatever, right? Green Energon. Legalize nuclear bombs, bees make honey, says while a generic trap beat plays. I'm using the bathroom. Give me a moment. Where's my intermission? I will be right back. It's me. Green Energon. Legalize nuclear bombs, blah, blah, blah. Terrestrial picks? Oh, you're not terrestrial picks anymore. Zoe Zephyranthes. I'll tell you one way that I cannot become a trad Catholic, besides the fact that I'm not becoming Catholic. So, here's a funny story about how I was scolded by a Romanian woman for not being sexist enough. I go to an Orthodox church, an Eastern Orthodox church, and the people in that parish are a bunch of Eastern Europeans and Greeks. But at the end of the Divine Liturgy, you have the blessing, where you get the blessing from the priest. Everyone lines up, and, you know, I'm kind of putzing along at the end of the line, and there's this Romanian woman where she's like, no, the men go first, because I was behind her. I'm like, well, you can go first, it's okay. It's like, no, in our tradition, the men go first. Go. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't sexist enough. I didn't tell the woman to get in the back of the line. So I don't think I have it in me to to be that. Have you ever read Sonichu? No. I've read summaries of Sonichu on the, what is it, the Wikipedia, the Christian encyclopedia. I've read summaries, like how, like, they poisoned the water to cure gayness or something like that, and then the whole arc where, like, the Nazis or Russia occupied Quickville. I've read summaries of that. I haven't read it actually. Good. Thank you, I guess. How's everyone's day going? What time is it for everyone? This can't be a good time for you people. Oh, I missed. So how do you feel about Digimon? I love Digimon. I'm a big fan of Digimon. I've been watching a lot of Doctor Who lately, and it's got me more interested in history. Also, I think my new stepfamily is concerned with my Transformers obsession. Yeah. 3:36 in the morning, baby! You should not be awake. You should not be here. I had an interview for a new job, and I think it went well. What sort of job? Are you getting to the crime business? 6:37, is that PM or AM? p.m. Where are you? It's also a good time for me because I needed to get up early for work anyway. So this for me is like my wind down late night stream. I think for most of you it's like, all right, getting up in the morning. Barista. I think a year without healthcare is good enough for a lifetime. Excellent. Excellent. This fool uses 24-hour time. So that's 1:37. Is it really 1:37 in Finland? Finland time. Wow. Oh no, I'm streaming to Europeans. Oh no, 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 no. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. By the 9, this can't be happening. Unfortunately, Japan uses 24-hour time as well. So we can't get on Europe for doing that. You know, if Europe does it, it's cringe. If Japan does it, it's based. I don't make the rules. I just read them off the back of cereal boxes. What do you think of Optimus and Alita's relationship? What relationship? Can anyone name any, like, fiction where Optimus and Alita 1 have a convincing relationship besides, like, maybe animated? Maybe. That's a big maybe for animated. This is what you get for making European history videos. You knew what you were getting yourself into. Have I even actually made that many European history videos? Everything has been Japan and America. Plus, like, that one weird Egyptian, like, Mamluk video. Yeah, even History 101 has been, like, the settlement of the Americas, the Sino-Vietnamese War, Operation Red Dog. Have I actually made a European history video besides, like, the British tangentially? You make one on a Baltic country and you'll be inundated with new subscribers. That's true. I did not hear about the Egyptian bomb loop. Mamluk. I said Mamluk, as in the Turkic slaves that took over Egypt. What is a bomb loop? I want you to explain to me. Like, please explain to me what a bomb loop is, because that sounds like a nightmare. And I want you to put that into words. What is a bomb loop? I imagine it being like a nightmare cycle of bombs. That's that thing from Chainsaw Man. There's a Chainsaw Man bomb loop. Chainsaw Man bomb loop. I guess I imagine it's a bomb that keeps going off. Oh, what a nightmare. That's like the Magnemite and Electrode from Pokemon. How they can self-destruct, but they are still in one piece. Collecting Transformers classics is so much fun. So much run. Fun, not run. Okay, thank you. I don't think many Transformers go... I don't think many Transformers collectors are running. You're right. Lately, I've been trying to get into more mecha and giant robot series beside things like Transformers or Bionicle. There seems to be a huge overlap between Transformers fans and Bionicle fans. I don't understand it. Like, logically, G.I. Joe should be the fan base that really overlaps with Transformers, seeing as they're almost always in the same universe. They pull on the same world-building elements. That should be the logical one, but no, Transformers fans have to go off and be into Bionicle for some reason. Yeah, there does seem to be. What do G.I. Joe fans like? I think a lot of G.I. Joe fans do like Transformers. I think you do get that overlap. But, like, Transformers fans doesn't have the same level of overlapping with G.I. Joe. Like, you know, it's like the G.I. Joe fans are like the guy who has a crush on the girl, but the girl doesn't care and is into Bionicle, I guess. That analogy doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, Bionicle lore next. I know nothing about Bionicle lore. realized just how few series exist where the robots are sentient characters. It honestly makes me sad there isn't May series where the robots are sentient characters and not controlled or piloted. Not saying I have anything against the piloting theme or anything, but I just wish there was more sentient robot character themed series. I think it would be very hard for me to get into a sentient robot themed series. Now go ahead, take that quote out of context and then say Commander Radix, creator of Transformers lore. Transformers is a little bit different, I think. I don't know what's different about it. Maybe it's because I got into it when I was a kid, but I would have a hard time relating to robot characters, especially massive robot characters, in the similar vein to Transformers. I do like piloting. Yesterday I was rewatching some scenes from Gundam 00, which I really enjoy. I really need to rewatch Gundam 00. That was nice. I rewatched the scene with Lock-On Stratos. You know the one, if you know 00. I don't want to spoil it. Bionicle and Transformers are a gateway series for people on the spectrum to get into Japanese mecha. Right, because Japanese mecha itself isn't a gateway series for people on the spectrum. Well, yes, Transformers and G.I. Joe are pretty related and involved with each other, but a lot of Transformers fans got into the series for the toys that were often sold and similar to Bionicle. G.I. Joe is at the back of Hasbro's mind, yeah, really. Which is weird when you think of it, because most of the Hasbro universe uses G.I. Joe as the glue that holds things together. You know, Action Man, Mask. Both of those involve Transformer technology, but they're at their root G.I. Joe in origin. Micronauts to a degree, but Micronauts, you can make the argument that that's more closely tied to Transformers. Bionicle lore is a meme, but it is genuinely insane how deep it goes. God becomes a dude with long arms and has to pet a spider that turns into a shield. Not the scene. I cried at 00 twice. The scene in the end of the movie. I didn't like the movie. I didn't enjoy the movie that much. Is the end of the movie where you get the really big flower orbiting in space? I wasn't really into that. But yeah, the lock-on scene. Kino in the Raw. Maybe sentient wasn't the right word. Maybe I should say more characters that are their own race of beings like Transformers and Bionicle. How about you get into robotics? You can watch all of robotics for free on YouTube, and that's part of the Transformers multiverse. Go and watch robotics. The bad guy is voiced by Peter Cullen, because apparently in the 1980s there were only 5 voice actors. The end of the movie is the guy coming back and seeing the girl he left behind, and he's changed so much in the that's right. Yeah. In the flower field, he's changed so much. Reminds me, for some reason, have you seen this new Velma show? I have not heard good things about the new Velma show. It looks very lame. It looks very samey to literally every other trash show on Cartoon Network. The Robotics, am I spelling that right? Robotics. Robotix. What do you think of the Rise of the Beast Wheeljack design? I'm not a fan. I think Orbital Bacon pointed it out right that it looks like Joe Biden. Since you stopped doing streams regularly, I got into Gundam. Need to catch up on the new show. Yeah, it's always a hit or miss with me. Hit or miss for me with Gundam. Gundam 00 I loved. I watched the original Gundam, and it was fine. The 8th, is that right? 8th MS, mobile MS team or something like that. I liked it, but I couldn't continue it. Gundam. Oh, is it Gundam Wing? I watched the first episode where the guy like gets invited to a birthday party, breaks the letter, and says, "I'll kill you," and I like almost killed myself laughing. So I couldn't continue with that. Yeah, Gundam's great. You might have to type that name for me. Sorry, I'm slow. Robot IX. I'm a little impatient because I'm teaching students who don't speak English and they have to get every single word spelled for them. And when I'm not getting paid for it, I don't want to spell things for people. Witch from Mercury is great. Not gonna hide it. Wing is genuinely the worst show. Yeah, that first episode was a disaster and I couldn't watch it. And it's weird because I know there are so many Gundam fans that swear by Wing being the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I think sliced bread is better. Should I start streaming regularly more? Since it's so hard for me to get out an actual video. What do we think? One in the chat, and I know this is a biased source because you're here watching the stream. One in the chat if I should stream more regularly more often. I hate watched it, and in the follow OVA, one of the characters says, "Among Us," and I lost it. I would too. I would too. Did you watch Zeta? Is Zeta the one that I think it is? No. No, it isn't. Gundam Zeta. I have not watched Zeta. Gundam, is it Gundam Origin or Gundam The Origin? That's a good series. Yes, stream more. I like your discussions. Thank you. You might get exhausted of streaming if you do it regularly. Why do you sound like a video game tutorial pop-up? It's like, I feel like you're like the paperclip guy from Microsoft Word. You might get exhausted of streaming if you do it regularly. 2. Keep streams special. I really like Thunderbolt and narrative. Yeah. Thunderbolt narrative. Everyone, let's write stories about Thunderbolts and narratives. What's your favorite narrative? By the way, you know that ChatGPT AI thing? I used it to create a Transformers series. It was kind of a lame series. Zeta is one of the best Universal Century anime. It looks fine. I wanted to watch all of Universal Century and I got to like the 8th MS team, but then I just couldn't finish it because I actually don't watch things often. I don't like watching things. So there's that. If you hit A and B at the same time, you'll be able to do a stream combo and say the N-word live. I've already said the N-word live. It's just the mic went out when I said it. Also, Gundam Build Drivers Re-Rise. What a long name. But it's one of those shows I can't recommend unless you're into super robots. Got to go by. Goodbye, Greek Master. Master of the Greeks. Gundam Build Drivers Re-Rise. What a long name. Gundam Build Driver Re-Rise. Is this like the Gunpla show where they make Gundams? I want to watch, what is it, G Gundam, where everyone's racist? Or like there's a racist Mexican stereotype? G Gundam, racist. Oh yeah, the tequila Gundam. That's nice. Very nice. G Gundam is the best Gundam show. Build Divers Re-Rise is the Gunpla VR Isekai. Wow. Space Colony Neo Mexico. That's where I want to be. That's where the party is. All I know about Gundam is that people have crazy names like Biscuit Griffin. What? Oh, there is a Biscuit Griffin. I like, what is it? Mr. Bushido? Yes, Mr. I like when Graham in Gundam 00 just decides to call himself Mr. Bushido. What a beautiful name. Or Alleluia Haptism. Alleluia Haptism that's crazy. It's an isekai, but not cringe and Reddit. I can't say anything else without spoiling it. Are isekai notably Reddit? Cranch Mayokyu is a Gundam. Cranch Mayokyu. It's like in the early Calamus Mythos chapters where I try to write foreign characters and I just make up their name on the spot. Okay, I look up Cranch Mayokyu and I get a weird Heinz thing. I think you lied to me. I think you just lied to me. I don't think it's a Gundam name. I think I've been lied to. Okay, so I actually have things to do. I have a call to make, so we're going to end this stream over here. Thank you all for showing up. It's been fun, funner than I expected, because I expected nobody to show up, to be quite honest with you. I would never disseminate falsehoods on the internet. No, not you. Not me. Hathaway Noah. Okay. Alright. Let's go, gamers. Next video should be on at some point. I don't know when. I don't know what. I wouldn't miss a Radix stream for the world. And that's how we know that you're a real G. You are a real G. Never forget that. Real G's never forget. And real G's recognize real G. It's true. Alright. Thank you so much for coming. Check out my Twitter in the description. I'm a little bit more active on Twitter than I used to be, so please follow me on Twitter. Also join the Discord server. The link is in the description. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. And have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull up a song. What's a good song? Let's do this one. Peace!
俺は悟空、お前はベジータ。俺らはさればまるでゴジータ。Fly in the sky, anyway。風に乗せて届けるメロディー。この上、この上、この上、この上、この上から降らす言葉。地球を突き抜けて宇宙に足をかける。夢希望挑戦挫折。後悔繰り返してにする私服。貧乏人からリッチ。ライブする金土日。新境地に金とまたがり向かヒロイン二人。随分長い下積み、目が出ない時間は全部置いてきた。接した時の部屋、上に抜け出した俺らマジで止まらねえ。誰も追いつけない、風も掴むデイナイ。まるで富士山から見下ろすエベレストだよ。誰も知らない景色を I want。 俺ら登り下り5秒。鬼に空ボトライン翼俺に相棒。一人の女いし金は家族にベッド。高級な飯もいいがやっぱ嫁の弁当。俺ら変わらないぜ人生最後。俺は僕、お前はベジータ。俺らはさればまるでゴジータ。Fly in the sky, anyway。風に乗せて届けるメロディー。この上、この上、この上、この上、この上から降らす言葉。地球を突き抜けて宇宙に足をかける。ルルやいやいやルルやいやいやルル俺らはさればまるでゴジータ。ガラガラのステージで客は共演者。ゲスト前の前座こけて裏で泣いた。そんな時にお前がかけてくれた言葉。俺らマジで最強大丈夫だよって嬉しかった。年に100本のライブ嘘つかれ任すわ。いつか見て俺らそんなやつも抜いて現場沸かすわ。そんな風に思って思いは宙に待って何年も時が経ってやっとつぼみが開き出した。俺らが立てる中指バビロンヘイター違うぜ自分の中の弱さ。そこに未来があんのさ。どんなにラブソング歌っても俺は現場叩き上げ。俺の音楽に には今はなきハザードとグラッドの血が流れてる。自分に愛せ無名なことが積み根だけだ。でも自分を愛せ感謝忘れず歌うだけだ。俺の人生カメラは常に回ってる。未知のアングルお前と作るバイブル。お前はベジータ俺らはさればまるでゴジータ。